A historic day on Wall Street. The Dow Jones closed above 18,000 points for the first time today. The markets got a boost after a new report said the economy grew at its fastest pace in more than a decade. That's good news there. With just 2 shopping days left to go before Christmas, many people are fixated on buying and spending, of course, on last-minute gifts.
But as we approach 2015, this is the time of year to also think about saving, as hard as that is to do this time of year. So that's where financial expert Robert Wilson comes in. He manages his own Philadelphia-based financial firm called Wilson Insight. He's a former wealth management specialist who worked for Merrill Lynch and Smith Barney.
Robert joins us live from our Digital Operations Center with some year-end financial advice to keep in mind. Robert, thank you so much for joining us. Number one, to keep it simple, you have 3 things that we can all do with our money. Let's start with taxes. What do you suggest?
Yeah, the best thing that you can do to try to save some of that money this year is really try to save on your taxes. And the best thing that you can do, if you're lucky enough to be getting a bonus this year, try to defer some of that income until next year. That's going to reduce your taxable income dollar for dollar. If you can accelerate any tax deductions that you have, that's going to help as well. Also, make sure you have your health insurance situation taken care of. The Affordable Care Act has some pretty steep penalties for Americans that don't have health insurance. Also, if you have a flexible spending account, make sure you know your company's policy so you don't lose any of that money. And look, it's the giving season, so think about donating to charity, especially if you get some terrible gifts this Christmas. Instead of holding them and re-gifting them, donate them to charity, and you can also get a tax deduction.
Exactly. Someone's trash is another person's treasure, and we know that April 15th will be here before we know it, tax time. All right, Robert, what about investments? What should we know?
Absolutely. This is very important. Everybody's ecstatic that the Dow finished over 18,000, but that doesn't mean you can just go on autopilot. Analyze your portfolio, and if you do have any losers, make sure you sell them before the end of the year. You can use $3,000 of those losses to offset your income. Contribute to your 401k at work. That's going to reduce your tax bill dollar for dollar. And if you have an IRA at an old job, make sure you roll that over. No need to leave it somewhere where you're not going to pay any attention to it. And if you are retired or you inherited a retirement account, make sure you don't forget to take your required minimum distribution.
Robert, there's a lot of talk about how people can maximize their income. What do you suggest they do to do that?
Well, look, I think if you really want to live the lifestyle that you want to live, you got to figure out how to maximize your income. So first of all, review your goals. Did you make it the money that you wanted to make this year, or did you not? And figure out what steps you need to take into the new year. Hey, you're going to have a slow week next week. So talk to your boss and see if there's any additional projects you can take on or how you can maybe increase your income in the new year. Start setting those January appointments. While everybody else is on vacation, you can get to work and start setting appointments. And look, think about adding an additional stream of revenue. You never want to be totally dependent on one job or one stream of revenue for all of your income. If you do that, I think you'll have a much happier 2015.
Or maybe set your appointments while you're on vacation or just afterwards.
Exactly, right on the beach.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Some good New Year's resolutions. All right, thank you so much, Robert Wilson, for sharing your year-end financial advice.
Thanks for having me.
The first one relates to how you can earn more money, starting with Uber and Lyft.
Yeah, the first couple of ones are all about the sharing economy. And so there's a couple of innovative individuals who have figured out how to help us be more efficient with things when we don't need them, starting with Uber and Lyft. And this app allows you to turn your car into a taxi. So if you want to make some extra money,